And welcome back to the Sunday Sports Update. Stoney was on hand for the press conference to introduce Brad Ausmus as the next Tiger skipper today.
If anybody can sit there and say Dave Dombrowski made the right decision or Dave Dombrowski made the wrong decision, they're fooling themselves because nobody knows. It's a crapshoot. He has no managerial experience except for the always exciting Israeli baseball team. Everybody you hear say he's really smart. You read all these things about him from people all over the country that tells you he's going to be a really good manager. The question is, with this team, should they have gotten somebody who had experience? I was a guy who wanted Ozzie Guillen. That obviously wasn't going to happen. When you take into consideration the guys who had no managerial experience, it was that they interviewed basically was Tim Wallach, Brad Ausmus, Rich Renneria, and then the one who had the managerial experience, their own Lloyd McClendon. To me, flip a coin between those four. We don't know. Hopefully it'll work out. He seems smart enough. Right. He's young enough where he's been with these players before, not individual players before, but the fact that he's their age could help. The fact that he's only a few years older than some of them. And
the value of having played in the majors for 18 seasons. Obviously, he spent time here in the Motor City with the Tigers too.
Yeah, the players appreciate guys who've played the game. I'll give them that. But, who knows? Will this smart, who knows, look, it obviously worked with St. Louis for Mike Matheny, but they were coming off a World Series when La Russa left. This is a little different. How we get along with the superstar clubhouse. All indications are it's going to go fine, but until he actually manages that team, remains to be seen how good it'll be. So it's a guess.
Right.
And I'm not going to sit there and rip it, and I'm not going to sit there and praise it because we don't know. Personally, I would have gone for, like I said, somebody like an Ozzie Guillen who had the experience, who gets along with, players that are on the Tigers like Cabrera and Victor Martinez. But who's to say it won't work?
From baseball to college football. Can't wait to get your thoughts about Michigan State, starting with the Michigan State defense, Stoney.
Well, as anybody knows, who've been watching this show or listening to me and Bill on 97.1 The Ticket, I've been saying that Michigan State is going to beat Michigan by double digits for a month. I've said it here. And the reason I believed it was because of their defense and the fact that Michigan up front on both lines, not just the offensive line, but even the interior of the defensive line, just could not match up to what the Spartans had. And I'd never expected it to be that much of a beatdown, but man, that defense was just insane. And you got to give D'Antonio, Narduzzi, and those players tons of credit because they went and just balled. They just played football the way I think Brady Hoke wishes his team could play. That's Brady Hoke football. Smash mouth, aggressive, physical defense. And they didn't have it. And they tried. They tried to be physical. You can't out-physical Michigan State right now. And what is disappointing to a lot of Wolverine fans is the fact that Michigan State has now won 5 out of 6 in this rivalry. And from a coaching perspective, I would say, well, they had 2 weeks to prepare. It's not even that. It's at halftime. You see you can't really do anything. Al Borges, at least in my opinion, do something different. Go 4 wide. They didn't try to do anything different to get Gardner some more time to pass the ball or somehow create some more running lanes. It was just a bad job by their players for the most part and by the coaching staff. They got outplayed and they got outcoached.
We saw what happened. Stonehead of the week.
Well, Stonehead of the week goes to that game, and that's Fitz Toussaint, who earlier in the week has to pull out the little brother card. Look, at that time, Michigan State had beaten Michigan 4 out of 5, and you're saying that they're still the little brother? No. You keep your mouth shut. It was like Michigan was turning into Michigan State. It used to be the other way around. So what does Fitzgerald Toussaint do to back up his actions? Not all his fault, but 8 carries for 20 yards? Fitz Toussaint! Stonehead! Use that head before you speak.
He is Stoney from 97.1 The Ticket. Catch him and Bill weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on The Ticket. You're going to be flooded again tomorrow morning with all sorts of fun phone calls, Stoney.
Oh, absolutely.
Stoney's Stonehead of the Week is brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, the best mortgage banker. Call 1-800-LOW-RATE.